Thank you for joining us for tonight's post-game press conference. We'll open up with a statement from head coach Chris Acker, then open it up for questions.
Excited about, some of the guys that came back tonight that hadn't played in a long time, Christian being one of them, getting Gavin back out there. It looks like he's moving a little bit better. So there's some exciting things as far as that's concerned that may give us a chance to play a little bit better basketball down the stretch of the season. Obviously unfortunate that, we weren't completely ready to go as a unit tonight. And, the game was close for the most part. And then we just kept giving up leads as the game was going on and then catching up and then giving up leads. So we just got to figure out a way to be smarter throughout the course of the game, play smarter for longer periods. But I'm excited about the intensity defensively in some of those stretches that I saw tonight. Trying to figure out 5 guys that are going to dive on the floor and make plays. And at the end of that game, last 4 or 5 minutes, I think we found 5 guys that wanted to do what we expect them to do defensively every night.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned it. We got to see Gavin and see some minutes from Christian. Obviously, the first half, it was a little bit sloppy, 26 turnovers, both teams combined. What do you see as guys start coming back? Obviously, you guys had to get back into a rhythm. What do you guys need to do this last stretch to try and make a push for the Big West tournament?
Yeah, just come with more fight, a little bit more energy, and not turn the ball over, obviously. I mean, some of our turnovers were just egregious, and I didn't understand some of them. And so part of that is just, the guys being precise with the decision they're going to make and playing with more conviction that they're really good players. And so they have to embrace that part of the game. That's something that from a coaching standpoint you can't necessarily rectify, but it's something that we'll continue to talk about and harp on. But I think if we can take care of the basketball a little bit better, figure out a way to get better shots, especially when we get down to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we'll be okay.
And I just want to talk a little bit about, last time out of Bren, Elijah, who was out tonight for UCI. He was kind of on Patar majority of the night, but their length was still an issue inside the paint. Kyle had, I think, 5 blocks. What are they so good at defensively that just really makes it difficult? Obviously, in the second half, you guys were able to get some buckets in the paint, but in the first half, it was just weren't able to get those easy buckets that you guys got at their place last time. So defensively, what are they able to do that makes it a little bit difficult defensively?
Well, for us, I mean, when you're playing against a team like that has, some returners and some smart guys, you're playing against the number 1 shot blocker in the nation. It's just about getting the ball side to side and moving the ball a little bit better, a little bit more. I think for us, our stubbornness sometimes to get off the basketball plays right into their hands. There's a reason why they're one of the top defenses in the nation, top of our league, is because they're really good on the first side of the floor. And if you don't have guys that are willing to get off the ball, get the ball to the other side of the floor every possession, then you're going to have stagnant possessions. And so I don't necessarily know if it was their length or just our confidence to get to the rim and make the right read and decision. So I guess it's a combination of both.
Coach, you talked about your team's defensive intensity tonight. You guys forced 15 first-half turnovers, but only had 8 points to show from those, and shooting 27% in the first. What holes did you see in your offense tonight?
Again, it's just a lack of conviction at times. It's kind of a balance in that because I'm spending time trying to figure out who's ready to go. And so, Christian hadn't played in I don't know how many games, and then throwing him in the lineup and him not being comfortable with what we're doing. And then certain guys out there, not playing confident, turning the ball over. But again, you got to give credit to Irvine. I mean, they did a really good job putting us in those situations. And so, for us, I think offensively where we have to be better is just, understanding what our strengths are. And so I think we go back to the drawing board and we just explain to our guys, again, what they're really, really good at, what they need to stick to, that now is not the time to try to show us what you can do, help us win basketball games.
Coach, talk a little bit more about Christian Jones. He hasn't played since late December, the work he's done to get back on the floor and how ready he is to get back to the rest of the season.
Yeah, I mean, all credit to J-Rod and his staff for spending so much time with Christian and getting him to the point to where not only is he out there playing, but he looks like he's in good shape. He looks like he didn't miss a beat. So I think it's credit to Christian for staying ready mentally throughout that long stretch of being out, and credit to the medical staff for doing a tremendous job of getting him ready. And I think Christian coming in and just being solid gives me some confidence that we have another guy that's going to play with energy naturally, organically, and then, be able to make a couple shots here and there. So it gives me a little bit more confidence, makes me question some of the things that we're doing now. And it was the first time really in since he's been out that we've been able to actually scrimmage against each other this week as opposed to scrimmaging against scout teams. So it's really, really good to have him back.
Hey, Coach. Rob Diaz only played 4.5 minutes today. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, I think part of it is, again, just trying to figure out who's ready to go. The stretches where I have a group on the floor that are playing well, trying to keep them out there as long as I possibly can. And there's a lot of guys on the bench that I'm trying to figure out, who's ready to go, who's ready to play, who's going to play aggressively, who's not going to make mistakes. And so when I see certain things out on the floor as a coach, you look to it and you say, okay, I'm going to try this guy because we need a spark. We've gone 3 or 4 minutes without scoring the ball or getting a great shot. So it's not so much just Rob. It's more so we're trying to figure out, who's ready to go. And so he's kind of caught in the crossfire of that a little bit right now. But, I just what I want to see is players ready to go and players playing extremely hard. And then at the end of the day, as I told him at halftime, play so hard that it's impossible for me to take you off the floor. And I think right now we got a lot of guys that are worrying about what's happening offensively. And then, again, I'm sorting through to try to figure out, the 5 guys that are ready to compete defensively. He just wasn't a part of that tonight.
Coach, CSUN Saturday. What's the message to the team to have them ready to go for another big home game here?
Come ready to go. I mean, that's the bottom line. Get your mind outside of yourself and think about the fact that, we play for the city of Long Beach. And I get to coach at the University, Long Beach State University. I get to coach here, and these guys get to play here. And there's a lot of people in this community that really care about you. And so figure out how to get over yourself and lock in on what it takes to win Division I basketball games for this city, which is a very rare situation because a lot of times guys are playing for universities that don't have support and backing and a community behind them. And when I look in the stands and I see, all of those fans and all of those students supporting us regardless of our record and what we've gone through this season, I get a little bit upset when I don't see us competing with the passion and the energy that we need to compete with for them. And that's what we're trying to get this program to where we understand that, there's something bigger than us. There's alumni, there's people here that are in the games, that are at our games, that are watching us, that really, they're here and they're staying for the end of the game because they just want to see us compete with passion and energy. And so that's my message to our guys is get outside of yourself, look out in the stands, think about other people, think about your teammates, and just come ready to compete.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
I appreciate it.